Hello, welcome. Question for you. What if the process of wealth building had a formula that you could use, that you could apply? Would that help? Could that make a difference for you? Well, that's what I want to share today. In my last video, I talked about the 6 things that everyone aspires for. And I mentioned that if you have those 6 things, your life is balanced. It means also that you're wealthy. But I also mentioned that one of the things I found out was the fact that every time I mentioned those 6 things, which for the sake of perhaps if you haven't watched my previous video, I'll just share it quickly again. What are those 6 things? I call them the 6 F's. It's your faith, family, finance, fitness or your health, fun, and friends. But every time I talk about these 6 things and I ask people to prioritize maybe just 3 out of these 6, one of them always seems to stick out, and it was finances. And I mentioned that finances is like your thumb. And of your 5 fingers, your thumb is the only finger that can touch the other fingers. So finances truly impacts all of your life. So what if there was a formula or a simple formula that could help you to start your journey, your wealthy journey? Let me put it that way. Well, I have good news for you. There are 2 formulas that I'm going to share with you today. And I'm going to also talk about some 5 key steps that should help you towards your wealth building journey. Excuse me. The first formula that I want to talk about is simple. It's so simple yet profound. It simply states that income minus lifestyle equals savings. That's it. Income minus lifestyle equals savings. Now, when you think about that equation, here's my first question. Are you living your best life yet? If you say no to that, then I'm going to strike out lifestyle. Now, what about savings? Do you have enough savings to allow you? It could be for retirement, could be maybe a future project that you're trying to work on, or it could be emergency funds. Whatever you might be saving towards, could you say you have enough savings right now? If that is a no or maybe, then strike that out as well. What does that equation now looks like? Looks like you're left with income, right? Yeah. But I have another question too. Are you making enough income yet? Now, if the response to that is, well, I'm getting there, I'm working there, I agree with you because that's the same thing as me. So, third strike. So imagine this now. You're not making enough income. You're not living the best lifestyle that you'd want to have, and you don't have enough savings. You got to ask yourself, what kind of life then are you living? There are many names we can give to that lifestyle. For most of us, it's probably paycheck to paycheck or hand to mouth, as some others may say it. But what if there was something that could help you? Because the whole idea and my whole motivation for doing this is to help uncover some of the myths and some of the superstitions that we have about money. Because for every one of us here, we have a certain psychology about money. There's a way we think about money. And all of that stems from the fact that it stems from how we grew up, stems from what we were exposed to. Because everything you know and everything I know today, someone or something taught me. Excuse me. Yes. Someone or something taught me. Perhaps I read a book or my own experiences, or I observed how other people around me did certain things. Same goes for everyone. So how you treat money, how you respond to money, how you manage money, how you use money, all of that is the result of the exposures you've had. Transformation never begins without information. Information is always going to be the substrate upon which transformation can occur. So if you intend to transform your life, new information must find its way into your mind. That's right. So now that you have this equation in your mind and you're thinking about it, you're thinking about your savings, you're thinking about your lifestyle. Traditionally, if you were to sit with some financial advisor, they'll probably focus more on your lifestyle because maybe they really can't tell you much about how you can make more income, and they really want to see you to have more savings. So the only place they will likely focus would be your lifestyle. So they start telling you, hey, if you're eating out twice a week, or cut it out, cut it down. Oh, you're driving this nice car. Okay, could you downgrade, right? And all of these things. But I want you to think for a minute. How many lives do you have to live? If you say one, then does it really make sense that you have to cut down everything that at least you like to enjoy? There's nothing wrong with enjoying life. What if there was another way of doing it? What if you could make good enough income so you can enjoy the lifestyle you want and still have savings? Is that possible? Of course it is. But if we have not been told that, and if we've not been exposed to some information that can help us achieve that, then it looks like the only thing you need to do is to I'll call it truncate your lifestyle. But I have news for you, because I want to talk about a second equation of wealth. This one is even more interesting. And it says this, that wealth equals mental toughness plus opportunity. I'll say that again. Wealth equals mental toughness plus opportunity. For most of us, especially if you're an immigrant, your mental toughness is very high. You've gone through some challenges in life that has already strategically positioned you to achieve wealth. Our challenge is that we haven't been able to find the right opportunity. And I'll tell you why we haven't been able to find the right opportunity. It's because of the mindset that we carry, poverty. But I want to give you what poor really means. Poor. I'll give you two definitions for being poor. The first one is passing over opportunities regularly, or people overlooking opportunities regularly. That's why we are poor. And remember what I said, that wealth equals what? Mental toughness plus opportunity. But if you keep passing over opportunities regularly, guess what? You will never be able to achieve that wealth that you say you're after. So what is it that you don't yet know that is affecting you every time an opportunity presents itself to you? Right now, I'm talking to you, and there are some things that I could be saying, and you may reject them simply because of what? How you think and the way you think, which is based on how you've grown up all your life and what people have taught you. And until you're willing to accept new information, you will keep passing over opportunities. That second equation is very profound. Because some people ask me, how did I start my journey? It started with new information. Had that information not made its way into my mind, and had I not allowed myself to ponder upon it, I would never have been here right now talking to you. So, what are the 5 main steps that you can start doing today to help you on your wealth journey? There are 5 key elements that are necessary to help you in your journey. The first is income. For some reason, income again comes up. And I'll tell you this. The 5 steps I'm going to talk about, I'm not going to give them in any order. And the way I give them doesn't mean that's how they should flow. Like they are not sequential. They're not necessarily sequential steps. Some of them may happen in sequence, but some are priority items. For example, income. Income is the first. Why? Because income is truly the base. Without it, nothing else can work. Income minus lifestyle equals savings. Without income, there's no lifestyle, there's no savings. In these same 5 steps, the same thing. Without income, the rest of it really doesn't matter. So, but what are these 5 steps? The first one is income. And when it comes to income, there are two aspects that you have to think about. There is active income and there is passive income. For a lot of us, we have active income. We have a job, or maybe you own a small business. You're actively getting some money through that. But the passive side of it is where perhaps most of us haven't focused our attention into or looked at how we can explore that avenue. But the difference between these two is this, is that active income in many cases is going to be limited. Why? Because you're trading your time for money. I did another video about 6-7 minutes where I talked about what it means to become a business owner versus being self-employed. And I described why self-employment is a different field and why we are limited in terms of how much income we can make when we are actively translating or exchanging our time for money. You can check it out on my channel. But that's why. If you're actively working or your income source is strictly active, chances are you'll be limited to how much you can make, how much you can earn. But the passive side is leveraged income, and there it's unlimited. Now, what's the second step? Step number 2, it's savings. Yes, you have to save. At some point, you have to consider future state. But third is growth. Because at the end of the day, whatever you're saving is not just for the sake of saving, right? I'm reminded in some of the writings of the author of the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, he said something very interesting. He said, money are like little soldiers that you can send to war or battle for you. So, how much money have you sent for war or to battle for you? Your money should grow. Because he also said this, that money makes a terrible boss and a great employee. Are you employing your money or are you a slave to it? Fourth key or step is protection. For most of us, this is where we don't even tend to really think about. Because for a lot of us, we focus on income, we focus on savings, and we focus on growth. But this step, protection, is really the foundation for wealth building. Because without the right protection, everything else might fall out of place. I'll tell you why protection is important. And I'll give you 2 reasons or 2 definitions for 2 different words: risk and problem. Those 2 words. What is a risk? A risk is that danger, that concern, or that potential problem that could happen, but just hasn't happened yet. A risk is that problem, or it's that concern, or that fear, or that catastrophe that could happen, but hasn't happened yet. And a problem is simply a realized risk. So a problem is simply that risk which you did not prevent from happening or which you did not mitigate that has now come to fruition. So when it comes to the process of wealth building, protection is so profound. If you study the lives of the wealthy today, they are not so concerned about the money they make. They are way more concerned about how to protect what they already have. So that is the crucial step. But last but not the least is transfer. Now you say, what? Transfer? Yes. Because they say this, if money is the only thing you make, then you're a poor person. So guess what? At some point, you and I, if we are on this journey, we would arrive somewhere. And when you achieve that outcome that you had desired so much, you can only wear one pair of shoes at a time, drive one car at a time, sleep in one bed. So at some point, all the money you make will be more than enough for you. What are you going to do with the rest? If you cannot use the rest to impact lives, and bring value to society at large, you're a poor person. So you have to think about transfer. Now, if you're a father, if you're a person, if you're someone, you have family, that is also part of it. How are you going to impact the next generation? As a Christian, my Bible tells me that a good man should leave an inheritance as a minimum to his children's children. So which means I have to think at least 2 generations after me. That's just a minimum. What if you could leave something behind that impacts your generation and beyond so much that 10, 20 generations after you're gone, your name is still known? It is possible. If others have done it, you can too. So my final question to you is this. What is it about your wealth journey when I mention these 5 steps? Which of these has been your most challenge? Or where do you feel like you need the most help? Put it in the comments. I'd like to read some of these comments. And if you have any questions, please do share as well, because I intend to examine these things with you as my audience. And if you've subscribed, I urge you, let's participate. Let's do this together. That's my time for today. Have a great day. And remember this, with all of your getting, get understanding. Bye for now.